Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now. Where I am now, I get a special place. Until the morning breaks, where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. And if you'd like to see us live at WGPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350 AM, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present the others, the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning. Mr. E, is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace 95.3 FM, WPCE 1400 AM, WMVA 88.9 FM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Go to YouTube right now. Cristo Records 1, Cristo Records 1. You'll see our live shows. You'll see our After Dark show. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. We will shout you out. We promise.
Shout out. Yeah.
Ooh, Mr. E, how was your weekend?
Well, I had a very busy weekend, but it was all good.
Oh, it was all good.
I just went to the funeral of one of my greatest friends, Bishop Featherston, Jesse Irwin Featherston. I went to his funeral on Saturday from 3 to 6 on Saturday.
Oh, wow. I tell you what, we're still praying for the family and wish them all the best as they go forward after losing a loved one. I had a wonderful weekend. Classes of Saturday, Sunday, not football, basketball with my grandson. Just a lot going on, but a lot of great things going on. But we just thank God that we're here. And today is our Monday segment, Sports Talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mr. E, what a weekend.
What a football weekend.
Oh my goodness. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with our special guest this morning, Mr. Johnny Walton from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Goodness.
He will be with us for just a little teeny bit. We want to say a pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Hall of Famer Johnny Walton, the first African-American quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And so we say good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Good morning, Mr. Yolanda.
Good morning, Mr. Johnny Walton. How you feel today? Have you been locked at the NFL season games? And it's just so many questions we want to ask you. But let's just start at how you feeling and how things going.
Well, I would feel much better. I'm sure that the Eagles were
I know it.
They are watching it like I am on the television. One of the picks that I took this weekend won, and the other one lost. So I still feel pretty good.
Very
I think
good.
the 49ers will win it all.
Well, I tell you what, let's talk about Philadelphia's season. You all were doing really good. I mean, we had to give it to you. We thought
What?
we would see them go all the way.
What?
This the E, this is the truth now. Philadelphia started out with a bang, and a bang. And Johnny, tell us how you feel about the season, how it went for
Well,
Philadelphia.
I think everybody was enthusiastic about the season, but it seemed like he just kind of fumbled it. And I think there are some probably some internal issues that probably no one knows about. At times when you got family matters, you tell some and you keep some.
Yes.
I'm sure there's probably some internal things happening behind the scenes that cause them to, just disrupt the whole organization, and they never put it back together.
Sometimes people don't think about that, Mr. Walter. Sometimes they feel like, well, you got to go out there and you got to give it your all the time. But there are factors that accept the game.
No reason to cut down.
Can I get you to talk up a little bit louder, please?
Yeah, you can speak up just a little louder. But Mr. Walter, I was saying that sometimes people don't, understand that there are things working in the background. They don't understand that people have lives, families, issues, and some of those things can affect the game.
Oh yes, everybody's human. And what happened nowadays, it's more detected because people can use the social media. And people don't mind putting things out that seem like. Some of it's true and some of it's not true. You have to decipher it for yourself. But some things you need to see it on the sidelines that people are not communicating with one another.
Wow.
You see the frustration and the stress of some the players, and it's more evident nowadays than before because in the past, you kind of kept it away from you because it's a cultural thing, and the environment is what we live in, and it's like it's just so stressful nowadays. That everybody wants to win, but sometimes character means a lot, and how you win is very important.
Absolutely, Mr. E.
Johnny, Mr. Walton, I must say, you're a great fella. Can you hear me now?
I can. Yes.
You can?
Yes.
You're a great fella. And I'm proud of you. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, I don't know if it's an area where you may be, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, Mr. Walton, and I was looking for the Philadelphia Eagle on your behalf to do something great, but them jokers fell by the wayside, and I didn't hear you talking that talk when they lost to all the other teams and Cowboys were still going.
Yeah, well, if the Cowboys and the Eagles had played each other during the playoffs, I think it'd be a pretty good game.
Oh yes.
They said if
both teams lost their steam during the end of the season.
Both teams went home.
Both teams.
Yes.
I think it was fixed.
There go those conspiracy theories.
I think something like that. That's terrible,
I think
I don't care what I have learned over the years. You can go to a little league football game and it can be very interesting, because if both of the teams are competing at the same level, it's a good game. But when you get to the professional level and the way the Eagles and the Cowboys look at the end, it look like little league ball.
Yes.
They were not tackling. They were not. They didn't look the same, as they have in the past. And I think some of the rule changes may have changed how you look at the game nowadays. Because, back in the days, you could hit the quarterback. Now you can't hit him.
Wow.
It looked like they're playing two-hand tag. Nobody can tackle.
Wow.
It's just a different style of ball nowadays.
Do you think it's all money ball now?
It is. It's all about business.
It's just,
Even the coaches, back in the days, coaches realized that field position meant something. And hardly ever a coach would go for a first down on a fourth down situation. Nowadays, they seem like they pick coaches that wants to be daring and take risks. But it's
Yeah.
important because you have so many field goal kickers that are great nowadays at the professional level. They hardly ever miss kicking the ball. So if you go for a field goal, if you go for first down in your territory and miss it, that's a bad decision. And they're
Yes.
doing so much bet nowadays that I just don't understand. Football is different than what it was back in the day.
Yes. That's amazing. Yes. Let's talk about Sunday's football. Boy, how exciting was that? Did you get a chance to watch it all, Mr. Johnny Walton?
I did. And to me, most of the two games, I think the 49 Lions game was the one that was high rated.
Absolutely. Me too.
The Chiefs always going to be the Chiefs. You got to come to play. The Ravens, they didn't show up.
That's right.
Tell the truth.
Paid.
Half, and then you don't score the 3 in the second half.
Paid.
They look so weak.
You make bad penalties.
Paid.
You don't even try to run the golf ball.
Paid.
Turnovers, all of that will culminate into failure.
Paid.
Yes.
There's no way they could have been successful where they were.
They looked so weak. I could not believe it. I could hardly look at it because, you have a season that's so good and then all of a sudden you act like you're not playing ball for real.
Paid.
I was like, this is the one a good fit for me.
Paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pulling for Lamar so bad, it was a down for me, I tell you.
Yes.
I wanted Lamar to be in the championship.
I think that Lamont, back then, Baltimore Ravens, they had 3 running backs back there, and all them wide receivers, and couldn't hit the back of a barn.
Wow.
With those 3 running backs, that's the 2 running backs plus Lamont. Them 3 running backs back there, they couldn't do nothing.
It was crazy.
They had that number.
Yes, I know the pressure of being in the playoffs. Culmination to a week of stress and trying to want to do it right. But then when you get in the game, you can't make the same type of mental mistakes that you've been making all year.
Absolutely.
If you look at
it's not being there on that stage, those that really put a lot of pressure on.
Well,
the young man that's throwing the ball in the end zone, that was very hurtful.
Yes.
They were only been 3 points down. But after you turn the ball over, hey, you still behind by a touchdown. 2 touchdowns behind.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
made a big difference. And it comes with maturity.
Yes.
A lot of these kids are young, and they haven't been there before, but they want to be there. And there's a lot of pressure on them. Each team wins, they keep the money, their bank account.
Yes.
Growing.
Absolutely.
So if you're a person that committed a penalty that was unabated for your teammates that you funded that next week, because you're taking money out of their pocket. But it comes from time. You got to learn, but you just don't get to that position all the time.
Absolutely.
Staying in the Super Bowl is a once in a lifetime thing, and if a person gets 2 chances at it, boy, it's over and above. And the Chiefs have been there before, so it's going to be a great game on the 11th of February.
Yes.
The 49ers have did that too. They are mad because Philadelphia put them out last year. It's an awesome game, but I feel like because they have prepared for this game so long, I think the 49ers are coming there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Then there was two. We have the 49ers, and Mr. E, we have the Chiefs. Your prediction again?
I think the 49ers,
Uh-oh.
even though they started off slow in the third quarter, they came out and played real football.
Yes.
They scored 3 times, 17 points in the third quarter. That was very monumental in their victory.
Absolutely.
So they will come in that game ready to put points on the board.
Miss,
They put 34 points in the whole game, so that's double what the Chiefs did.
yeah.
And the Chiefs played against the Ravens defense, but they only scored 17 points. So
Yes.
I feel that 49ers, they're taking on both sides of the ball. They're playing really good offensive football, and they're playing tremendous defensive football. So I give 49ers the edge.
All right.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Walton, the first African-American football quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for your prediction. And don't forget to have a wonderful day on today.
Thank you all, and you all be blessed also.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So then there was two, Mr. E. Yesterday's game, I agree with Johnny Walton. The Ravens it was so disappointing. And then at the end, they cried like babies. Woo! And we want to say good morning to our next guest.
Good morning, sir, who's a San Francisco 49ers who pulled everything out of the box. Good morning. How are you?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Bryant. Mr. Bryant?
I can almost... Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you? How are you?
Can you hear us?
How are you?
I can hear you. I can hear you some, E.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
People doing this morning.
Oh, we're doing wonderful. Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, it's faint, but I can hear you, Miss Hinton.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir, Mr. E.
I tell you what, I hear the smiles coming all the way through the phone line. Good morning. And how are you feeling?
Hey, first of all, good morning to two great, wonderful people.
Thank
down
you.
One of the greatest, wonderful radio shows in the whole wide world. I'm feeling like a champion. I really am.
I don't blame you. Tell them your team.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Of course.
Are the NFC champions. And they will be going to the Super Bowl 58. To play the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now,
congratulations to them as well.
Absolutely. Brian, tell us about the 49ers season this year, 2023-24.
This season here was a real dominating season for the 49ers, especially in the NFC. They managed to continue to hold that number one seed throughout the season. They was always, they had a few rough spots where they lost 3 in a row due to some injuries. But Miss Hinton, they showed consistency of why they have been to the last 3 or 4 NFC championships. And they did well. They did well.
Yes, on their way to the Super Bowl. But let's talk about the games on last night, yesterday. What do you feel about the Chiefs and the Ravens? Something went wrong with the Ravens.
Yes, something definitely went wrong with the MVP, Lamar Jackson. I said earlier this year, he got paid. He deserved it. He played well throughout the season. But that just could not match up and slay the Giants.
Yes.
And Patrick Mahomes.
Woo.
That's right.
And Kansas City, I didn't have them winning, to be honest. I thought that Baltimore would take their business. Yes. They had a lot going for them. A great number one defense. They were blowing out teams in the AFC and the NFC. But Lamar, he came up short.
I must. Brian, I must apologize to you. I owe you that apology. I must apologize that I I had Detroit. I was pulling for Detroit to knock Jack right out of the box. I was looking at that game, and when halftime came, y'all was out of it. Did you was you on pins and needles when you saw the score that the Detroit Lions had y'all by?
No, sir. No, sir.
You know you was. You know you was on pins and needles.
All those guys from the network that I have my show on were calling me, had me on the hot seat. You know, Mr. Bailey, Dion, all them boys. And I told them, don't panic.
That's right.
You can't panic.
Absolutely.
Second half, the 49ers put on an exhibition. Yes, they did.
See, you all didn't have to panic because you all had the energy from the beginning. Unlike the Ravens, when they came out, it seemed like the Chiefs was just like beasts. The Ravens act like they didn't know what football was. But in the other game, the 49ers kept the energy throughout, even though the Lions at first, seemed as though they were going to do something.
Yes, they did, Miss Hinton. And like I said, kudos to the Detroit Lions on next season. They done something that they hadn't done, their organization, in almost 30 years. That's get to a playoff game, let alone to advance to the NFC Championship. So that's the team that I would be on the lookout for in the upcoming future.
Yes.
8 times.
Look out for them, Mr. E.
8 times.
Another juggernaut in the making.
8 times. 8 times the San Francisco 49ers got to the Super Bowl. 8 times. Now, how many more times does it take for y'all to win?
Mr. E, Kyle Shanahan, this is going to be his second time going.
8 times.
He lost the first time against the Chiefs in 2020. Now, it's 4 years later, a different team. This is the year. This is going to be the year.
That 24-year-old quarterback, he showed out yesterday along with Samuel. Samuel amped up everybody and say,
you don't have it. They have those guys that are still there are seasoned, Mr. E. They're ready. I think roster for roster, the 49ers have a more stronger roster of star power. I'm not shading the Kansas City Chiefs because their defense, if you ask me, was part of the reason why they won in Buffalo as well as Baltimore, because they had them in check. They had both of those teams in check.
So now here's a rivalry. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Wow. And your prediction, I know, I don't need to say it. And I just want to know a score. Give me a score of what you think the final numbers will be.
The San Francisco 49ers to win it 31-28.
31-28. You think it's going to be that close?
They probably will.
I believe
to be a realist. Mahomes is the better quarterback.
Now I'm gonna throw a little shade. I believe that Mahomes gonna show that young boy what quarterback is all about.
Now, you just may be right, Mr. E. Mahomes could outperform him, but he's gonna have to answer to that defense for the 49ers.
All right.
Wasn't the San Francisco 49ers that the Kansas City Chiefs played when they did that semicircle and went round in the circle and came out and beat y'all?
What did you say?
You know when they huddled up one time, the Kansas City Chiefs. Wasn't that your team and they came back and smoked y'all?
Yeah, just like that one brother did last night for Detroit, C.J. Gardner, when he started waving to the crowd in the second quarter, when Detroit was up by 17. He was waving like he was in church, like he caught the Holy Spirit. And I'm gonna tell you.
Whoa. So
Hey, the woman who was singing, she didn't start singing yet. She was just humming. See, he thought that everybody, the woman was singing. See, no.
So the fat lady won't singing yet.
She wasn't singing.
She won't sing.
49.
Well, I tell you what, Brian, pretend you are the coach. You all are on your way to the Super Bowl. What speech would you give to the 49ers?
Oh, it's the same speech that you guys, stay resilient. We made it this far. They have, with the confidence that the 49ers play with, they believe that they were the best team in the NFL all season long. But, they started out hot, and I think they're going to keep that same continuity. Those guys are playing together for 3-4 years. A lot of experience on the team. And if I'm the coach, I'm telling them, we've made it here. We're going to bring home that well-deserved trophy.
Well, let me ask Brian one more question. Brian, who would you have preferred to play? Your team, the 49ers, and who? Who did you want to see go to the Super Bowl along with the 49ers?
I did want to see the Baltimore Ravens.
The Cowboys.
The
It's
Ravens.
a big deal. I respect Mahomes and Lamar, two African-American quarterbacks. But I wanted to see Lamar. He's exciting to watch. He's a great player. And they kicked the 49ers tail early in the season.
Wow.
So that would have been nice to get some revenge in the Super Bowl.
Now I want permission, if it's okay with you. I'm really not diehard with the San Francisco 49ers. And I told somebody yesterday that the old heads of the experienced team going to pull it out over the young boys yesterday over Detroit. And so I was rooting for the 49ers. So in February, I want permission. It's not heartfelt. It's not diehard. It's not trying to cross over to the 49ers side. If I could just root for your ugly squad.
You got him, Brian. You got him. Oh my goodness. I hope somebody. What you think about that, Brian?
You call it 39ers, 59ers. I mean, Miss Hinton, could you just go back in the law and play
all that shade.
Pastor E has said about the 49ers this year.
Yes.
I'm eating crow.
Eating crow.
I'm eating crow, Brian. Y'all made it. 8 times. Y'all made it and couldn't get in. So I'm crossing 8 times. 8 times.
I know he was on the good. You was on the good foot at first, Mr. E.
I told him I told him I would.
Now
remember
yes.
the last time that you had the
Lord.
in Dallas in the NFC Championship.
We'll get it next year.
Don't make them cry like they made the Ravens cry yesterday. The Ravens was crying like babies.
We'll get it next year. We'll be the Super Bowl champion next year.
Woo.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Be there next year. You'll see us next year.
Brian, keep your high. Don't come down. Look, don't come down.
8 times. Miss Hinton, 8 times. Miss Hinton, if you got there 8 times, you could at least out of 8 times 1. What you think?
Let me give Brian some advice. Don't come down low to even talk with Mr. E there. Congratulations. You all are the best. We look forward February the 11th in Las Vegas to seeing you all do it up.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I am too.
Patrick Holmes gonna put that 24-year-old boy to shame.
You said you're gonna root for the 49ers, Mr. E. Well, let Brian have his last say now. Go ahead, Brian.
Mr. E, you do have permission to put on your 49ers jersey that you didn't have in your closet. I know that you're a true 49ers fan. And it will feel good to root for the team from the NFC to win the championship.
Wow.
Well,
you all made it. I want to say congratulations again. And thank you so much, Brian, for being with us throughout this season. We look forward to having you back.
No problem. It's my pleasure. It's always a pleasure, especially when the 49ers made it to conference.
Woo! Mr. E, you can't do nothing with it. This is the truth. Mr. E said, bye now. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. You all, thank you for joining us for Sports Talk. Come over here just a few minutes. We want to mention about tonight, 6 p.m., FYI After Dark, and some other things. So be blessed. Have a wonderful day.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to FYI Radio Show Sports Talk with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, co-host. Our special guest has been none other than Mr. Johnny Walker from the Philadelphia Eagles and also Mr. Brian Fuller, fans of the San Francisco 49ers. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WGPL 1350, WMVA 8810P, 88.9P, 95.3 FM, and WPCE 1400. And don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful Monday morning.
Yes, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, Mr. E. So much excitement. We followed the season since 2023. Here it is, 2024, February 11th. That's going to be it. We have two teams going to the Super Bowl. That's the San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
And it is also the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right.
And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. We want to say good morning to Sheila Robbins. We want to say good morning to Sandy. I believe that's 1951. And we have Miss Mercy. Is that to you?
Yeah.
Join us. Thank you so much for joining us. If you all are there, say hello in the chat and we'll shout you out. Mr. E, how you feel? You got to give it to the 49ers. They made it. The Chiefs are there. Is there two teams that you wanted to see play in the Super Bowl?
Well, one of the teams I really want to see play in the Super Bowl was them Cowboys, for one.
Yes.
I wanted them to be there. And I know that the NFCs couldn't play together. So
Yes.
it would have been the Cowboys. I wanted to see the Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been
The Ravens, my hat off to Mr. Lamont, because I'm so proud of him, an African-American quarterback, young guy, going to the playoffs.
Yes.
And not only that, he stood amongst the giants of men, him and his mother, and negotiated his contract. One of the biggest contracts that one could ever, without having all those other folks negotiating for you. He stood firm, flat-footed, him and mom, and they negotiated his contract. So my hat's off to him, from him having confidence in his mama and mama having confidence in her son. Win, lose, or draw. He never played another football game before again, but he sat there, didn't have a middleman, and I like that. So my hat's off to the Baltimore Ravens, and yes, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers will be at the playoffs. So now I'm just looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs showing off in front of the San Francisco 49ers. But in all actuality, if they've been there 8 times, this is the 9th time they go into the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I'm looking for the San Francisco 49ers to tear up the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I tell you what, if you got two good and two great teams, we're going to see what's going to happen. February the 11th, Las Vegas. I'm going to be looking at it. Wish I could be there in the skybox.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's going to be a great game. A lot of people kind of figured, that these two would come together. Some people thought the Ravens. I had high hopes because my grandson loves the Ravens. And but he said he's going to go with the 49ers for the Super Bowl.
But that's going to be he got a good choice. I cross my fingers.
But I wanted to say something. We had Johnny Walton. He is the first African-American quarterback for Philadelphia Eagles. Isn't it wonderful to see his perspective on the history of football and how it has changed, Mr. E?
That's right. It's just like he said that, it's all about the Benjamins now, and it's not about playing the positions. When you look at playing football, there's a basic way to play football, And I think, and I really believe this with my whole heart, Miss Hinton, that they should go back to basic
Really?
football. You can't touch the quarterback. You might well put some flags on the side of them and play flag football. Because here's what football is all about: hardcore. Getting out there, getting greedy,
getting bust up.
getting it down. But now they done got to the point where they're looking at concussions. They looking at broken bones and things of that nature. But back in the day, it was football.
I don't think that was too grand to be busted up after your career, after your short career. But things have changed. Things are different. More money, a lot more going on. More, it's a lot of energy, though, Mr. E. These games are good games.
That's right.
But people sometimes wonder and question, how far have they gone? There's any shadiness going along with it. What happens? But I'm going to tell you what makes me question a few things is the way, you have some people, and Johnny Walton, he answered it. He answered the question for me. It's the way that you got teams that's really in there, going hard to win it. And then all of a sudden they act like they stopped playing, just like the Ravens, for instance. It was hard for me to look at that game because I felt like the Ravens, well, what happened to you all? You all act like you wasn't that team that was making all those, wonderful wins and things like that. Yeah. Wonderful plays. It was like whole different. And it's like, wait a minute, how do you do that? How do you be so strong and then all of a sudden look so weak?
And you're right, Miss Hinton, because when I looked at the Philadelphia Eagles and how good they was playing, when I looked at the Dallas Cowboys and how marvelous they was playing, then when I looked at Baltimore, as we got closer to the ending of the thing, we saw Philadelphia Eagles freeze up. We saw Dallas Cowboys freeze up. We saw everybody go to a freeze zone besides for the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Yes. Now, I heard somebody say yesterday when I was looking at the San Francisco 49ers game that what's her name? The little singer had them sent some information because one of the Golden State Warriors basketball team was wearing the same jacket that she was wearing. I don't know if money hit the surface. I don't know. But for teams to freeze after playing so wonderful, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't look like they come out there to play. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, they did not look at. And then they're going to start us trying to score at the bottom of the third, after halftime, when they could have did what they did in the first quarter.
And the Ravens look weak to me. It was hard to look at.
They couldn't run. You got 3 running backs. Here's the thing that gets me so much. You got 2 really running backs on each side of Mr. Jackson. Yes. You got Mr. Jackson, who's a runner quarterback. And then you got the 2 wide receivers that can get out there and get it. What's his name? Number 3. This is the first. This is his. That could be his second Super Bowl ring, but nobody looked his way, and nobody's tried to stow things his way.
Oh my goodness! It was really, hard to look at some of that stuff, but yet it was exciting because we were getting closer and closer and closer to these games and things like that. The Chiefs, what can I say? They just pure T. They've been lucky. Been there, done that. He said they're lucky, but they was playing hard against the Ravens. I was like, dang, you kind of figured who was going to win. But I want to congratulate all the teams. The Ravens, you all did good. You were there. You all were almost there. The Chiefs, of course, you all been there, done that. Then we have the 49ers, which to me is not a surprise because they played consistently. But let me say something about the Ravens, the Lions. Detroit Lions, I really don't know a lot about them. And then you said that 30 years before they had come to this point again. So
that's right.
Even though I'm familiar with the name, I know they've been around for, a while, but still not really familiar with the team as far as players and things like that.
Well, when I look at Detroit Lions, I said to myself, y'all made it thus far.
Mhm.
Great record
Mhm.
that the Detroit Lions had, the best record
Mhm.
they have ever had in their
Yes.
season. They've been playing for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Detroit Lions, their season, they did this year, they won 14 games
Wow.
and lost 5.
That was
Now,
awesome.
the San Francisco 49ers, they won 13 games and lost 5 games. So when we look at Baltimore Ravens, look at the stats of Baltimore:
Mhm.
14
Oh,
games
wow.
and lost only 4.
Amazing.
And then you look at Kansas City, they won 13 games and lost 6. So
Mhm.
when you look at the stats and the wins,
Yes.
and then you see that the 2 teams that has less wins are now in the Super Bowl.
I tell you what, this is going to be good. We're going to be locked and looking at it. We may come on and ask you all to join us for our Super Bowl party, FYI Super Bowl party, because this is definitely going to be good. But again, congratulations to all the teams that came this far, to all the teams that played this season. You all really made it very exciting, and we were really into watching the games and reporting and just having a good time with our friends here on FYI. We really enjoyed this season. So we go to the Super Bowl February 11th. Join us on FYI for our Sunday Super Bowl party.
That's right.
And not only that, we just want you to remind you that we're on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But tonight, we'll probably pop on tonight. We'll see. We'll pop on tonight and we'll talk about quite a few things. 6:00 p.m. FYI After Dark.
That sounds wonderful. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. Our special guests have been none other than Mr. Johnny Walker, Walton, ex-football player, the first African-American football player for the Philadelphia Eagles, and a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
And not only that, Mr. Brian Fuller, who's you'll
49?
hear more of
Yes.
him. He's part of the 49ers fan club. He's a groupie for the 49ers.
That's not nice. He's a commentator.
He's a groupie for the 49ers.
Out there from Oklahoma and a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
We love having him on.
So we thank you so much. If you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor, give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can go to our email and email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com, or you can inbox us at Edward Everett Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Facebook page, or at FYI Facebook page, and let us know that you'd like to be a special guest, a sponsor, or an intern of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world.
You all are the best. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support. See you tonight at 6 p.m. Be blessed, stay warm, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Deuces. 2 up, 2 down. The end.